Anish.
हाँ जी
हाँ जी किधर
क्या हाल है
ठीक है
स्पीच रेडी हो गई
जैसे जैसे कर लिया
मैंने भी भाग दौड़ करके जैसे तैसे कर लिया यार लास्ट मिनट पे
yet again it will be my maiden attempt in front of everyone so
maiden attempt
yeah
इंजन मत कर today
just writing
sorry I also just finished writing like an hour ago and I'm trying to practice and I don't have childcare today. Vilas is in Oxford, he's on his way back, but the last 2 days it was tough.
एक second
How's Angi Babu?
हाँ he's good बाहर बैठा है we just came back from martial arts class
Nice. Vidyut has been doing his Neil Armstrong impression since this afternoon. It's so funny.
cool
Yeah, I'm glad to see the boys like each other so much. Hey, Rupa.
hey Rupa that's a fancy background. One second, let me.
It's convention week. Would you like it? You can have that fancy background if you want to. Tanuj, you've had a haircut.
I did, yes. Actually, it's been about a month now, but yeah, it looks like the growth has slowed down. So signs of time, you know.
And Anishta, you've got a visitor in the background.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's
How
what I'm
we doing?
worried about.
Come on,
today.
let's have him say hello.
Vidyut, you want to say hello to my friends?
Hello.
Angad's dad is also here. That's my problem. I don't have childcare today.
You guys cool?
I'm worried that he might try to photobomb.
It's gonna that'd be even more fun. There you go. Let's do it.
I don't want him to do that in the middle of my speech because it's going to make me laugh and then trust me, we will not be able to finish. I won't be able to finish my speech. So Vijay, behave yourself. You're not a baby.
Nishta, just checking. Do you need to do screen share by any chance?
I do.
No. But
You do?
yes,
Okay.
I've given Rupa a little task.
So I think Rupa, I don't know how that has happened, but to our benefit, the you know the permissions for users have changed. So I think people can co-host now without any issues. So if you
No,
want to test it,
it's still showing as disabled.
is it? Oh, that's bad. Let me see if I can change that somehow. Hi, Gurpreet.
Hi. Hi.
So, okay, it worked quite all right last time. I don't know. It seems like it's gone back to the old version we had. Okay, so Rupa, I've made you the host.
Cool.
Actually, you know what? It's good if you stay the host because then when I slip out, you can manage the affairs. The voting ballots are in for the speakers as well as evaluators.
Cool.
For table topics, maybe you can just ask people to ping you on chat.
Awesome stuff. Okay, no problems.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Gurpreet, I'm a little bit out of touch, so I'm just going to ask a question. Are you visiting for the first time?
I am indeed. Yes, it is my first time. Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome.
Well, thank you.
We'll probably ask you a bit later, but what made you decide to join today, and specifically our club?
Well, exactly what I think Toastmasters is for, really. To help me speak up. To get better communication skills. I'm a consultant. I'm dealing with a lot of senior people at large organizations, and I struggle with I think I'm holding myself back, maybe some confidence, you can say, communication skills, a combination of things, really.
Okay, cool. So just to briefly explain the format of today, we will be starting promptly at 7:30. expecting between 15 and 20 people probably to join us, maybe a little bit more. And this particular session runs till 9:30, and we'll have a 10-minute break in the middle. Does that work for you?
Right. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Cool. Can I ask where you heard about us?
Well, online through I knew of Toastmasters from a couple of years ago, or maybe even longer. But yeah, obviously with the pandemic and everything else, just everything got delayed. So and now I'm, in a new sort of position where I'm going to be looking after a lot of projects and stuff. So I'm starting to, feel those, those nerves kicking in, and so I think it's time for me to actually look to join a club. And when searching, I realized that you are doing online meetings. So I thought it'll be a good time for me to at least try things out.
Cool. And where do you live in normal world?
Harrow Weald.
Perfect. Okay. Cool. Tanuj, you got screen sharing with your speech.
Yes, I can't live without showing something on PowerPoint.
Oh, that's got to be your next challenge, right?
So yeah, but I can see that. So yeah, you'd have to make me, or I'll take the hosting rights back when it's time for me to present, and I'll hand
Cool.
it back to you later.
Cool.
So are you presenting anything at the beginning of the
No,
meeting? or-
I'm literally. You know me. There's going to be a quiz involved, so I might be doing some screen share every now and again.
Cool.
But more Nish has asked us to screen share something, so I need to. And is that like directly at the end, Nish, or?
Yes, I think it would be appropriate if you could share it as soon as my speech is over.
Cool. All right, no problem.
For the speech, yeah.
I
Hi, Mama.
answer
Hi.
your question. Hey, Rupa. Hey, Simon, Sabs.
Momo, would you like to be the grammarian tonight since you were keen to fill the role?
I won't be able to attend the whole meeting today because I'm not at home today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to get out of it now.
No, because my friend father passed away, so I'm just here to help out for a while.
Cool.
Hey, Simon.
Hey, Simon.
Am I on speak? Oops, sorry. Rupa, I'm quite happy to swap.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, just mix it.
I'll have a go. I mean, if I cock it up, sorry, if I miss it. Sorry, I was thinking of something else.
No problem at all. Okay, let's do it. I'm game for that. Cool. So you've got everything you need. If you need anything from me, give me a shout.
I think so. I mean, if not, I'll just blag.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. In that case, Momo, I will be Toastmaster for the next meeting.
Sure, that's good.
So Simon, maybe in that case, I'll submit my request to you. Can I request to go first, Mike, in the speaking order? Sorry, I think I had a bit of an internet connection issue here. Sorry, Simon, were you able to hear me? Could I request to go in first in the speaking order tonight?
Sure, I've got no problems with that. Tanish, is your evaluator here?
Not yet. So Cam should be there. I mean, she's up to speed with everything related to my speech. So
Yeah,
I
no,
believe she-
I'm quite happy with that. Let me just bring up the agenda. Is there anything? Is there anything else I need to be made aware of by anybody?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Flora, just so you know, there's been a last minute change. Simon and I are swapping roles tonight, and I'm going to be Toastmaster at the next meeting.
Rupa, how did you manage that?
For the art of delegation.
The art of crashing and burning. Oh, I've got a bonfire lit.
Thanks, Simon.
You're welcome.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. So,
Oh, Flora. Don't know if you've just received the same email I have, but something's coming over to you right now. Okay.
Hi everyone.
hi, Cam. Long time no see.
I know, been hiding.
Hey, Cam.
Been on my summer holidays.
Hi, Cam.
Hello. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Irina.
Okay, well, at least evaluator number 1 is here, so that plan has worked, almost.
So who are we missing actually from the agenda? So Irina.
No, Irina is here.
Irina is here, sorry. Janusz is here, Nishta is here, Ken is here. I'm here, Jill, Satya. It's not yet. And Lori. So we could start the first part of the meeting, given that everyone is here for the first part. Simon, are you okay?
I'm fine. Am I doing Sergeant at Arms?
No, it was just to say if you were all okay in terms of
Yes, sorry, I'm just moving between screens and I've got the light in my eyes, so struggling
Perfect.
somewhat. That might be better.
Okay, so we'll then start the meeting. I'm actually doing the Sergeant of Arms today as a president's speech. So yeah, let's start. So good evening, Trojan. Good evening. I guess probably have one guest or 2 guests, I think, this evening. So welcome to you as well, and thank you for coming to our meeting tonight. So as a quick introduction into the Sergeant of Arms, I'm just gonna explain that this meeting is recorded. So if you don't wish to be recorded, then you'll have to turn your camera off. Obviously, we'll encourage everyone to stay on camera because that helps to see your reaction, that helps the speaker, and that's nice actually to see, smile on our audience when we speak. But we understand that's not what you want to do. I think that's about it. When you're in an online environment, actually, the Sergeant of Arms has less to do. What we've done in July is actually a small survey across the member to understand, what are we going to do in the next few months in terms of, are we staying online or are we planning to return to the church or doing meeting in person. So when we ran the survey, actually the outcome was most of the members that have answered this survey prefer to stay online for the time being. So what we'll do is we'll continue using Zoom for the next 3 months, and then we will revisit that decision or that outcome in November, seeing how things are progressing with the COVID cases and how everyone is comfortable to come back to a meeting in person. So that's kind of the update in terms of Sergeant of Arms. Then as a president, I also welcome you. And what I want to start actually is asking all of you 2 questions. So the first question is actually, who wants to have fun tonight? And please show your hand. Brilliant, everyone, right? Thanks. And then the second question is actually, who thinks she or he is a funny person? So there's less reaction. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because we all want to have fun, but we don't think we actually, most of us don't think we are actually funny people. And I'm saying that because actually I thought, as I was, starting to preparing for the contest that we will run later in the autumn, so where actually it's all about the humorous speeches and the table topic contest, I thought, let's all participate, let's all bring some humor in our meetings, and let's do that over the next few meetings until when we run the contest. So the contest you would have seen in the WhatsApp group, we will run it on the 13th of October. So this is in 3 meetings. And we'll want a speaker and some of you to participate as speaker. We also want some of you to help us organizing that contest. But what we all want as a committee is actually everyone, participating and bringing more humor to the meeting. And that's a great environment for at the club, because we can do that safely. If we don't think we are funny people, we can just start and see what happened. I'm just finishing on that note. I've actually I listened to one topic on the convention, Toastmaster convention, which is about actually bringing, how do you, how do you bring, that sense of humor? And for those who could have access to the recording, it was actually a great session. And there were three key takeaway. The first one is actually we can all learn the sense of humor. So it's not that we are actually not, people are not born funny. We can all learn about it. And their tip was actually to write down, what make you laugh during the day. So write down what make you laugh during the day, and maybe you will find actually some topic for your next speeches. And what they were also, one of the panelists was also explaining that it's not that funny things happen to funny people, is that funny people see things in a funny way. So that really, stick into my head. And the final things, just to encourage all of you to bring more humor and more fun. It's actually all of the role that you will be doing tonight is actually no one has died from a bad joke. So please have a go, bring some, I see some smiles, so I'm maybe improving a bit. But yeah, I'll really looking forward to see that in the next few months and to the context when we will run it. With that, I will hand over to the Toastmaster this evening, Simon Takdama.
Thank you, Flora, for that wonderful introduction, and welcome everybody, both members, guests, and visitors. I don't know how many of the unidentified faces are Toastmasters or guests. So let me just ask you, Gurpreet, are you a guest or are you a Toastmaster?
I'm a guest.
You're a guest. Okay, that just helps me with my thinking and speaking tonight. If this is your first Toastmasters meeting, it might seem a little bit strange, but the way it tends to work is it's divided into 2 parts. The first half of the meeting consists of formal speeches which people have prepared for. These can last from anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes. They are then evaluated, and the process of evaluation is to give the speaker feedback on what they did well, how they can improve, and also provide tips and assistance for the audience members themselves. After the first part, or the first half of the meeting, we then have a more perhaps relaxed, but at the same time also stressful part of the meeting, which is table topics. This is impromptu speaking, and it's a chance for the unwitting victim to speak for up to 2 minutes on a topic of which they will have no advance notice of. And although it's challenging, it's also quite an interesting skill to practice, because in a real life situation, you don't know who's going to ask you a question at work. Do you have the information to answer it? Can you blag it? Can you lie? Can you alter someone's opinion? And if you can do that within 2 minutes, you are a pretty amazing speaker. And if you make it humorous as well, I think Flora will want to ask you to join our club. Apart from myself, I've got several able helpers to enable me to facilitate this meeting. The first one of these is the timekeeper, who is, if you just bear with me, I'll just check my notes. Wrong page. Oh, could someone advise me who the timekeeper is? I brought up the wrong page.
I believe it's Pragati.
Pragati, sorry, Pragati, would you come to this stage and tell us the role of timekeeper is this evening?
Good evening, everyone. As the timekeeper for this meeting, I will be keeping track of time during the prepared speeches, evaluation, and table topics. All of today's prepared speeches are 5 to 7 minutes long. Therefore, to notify the speakers and the audience of the time remaining, I will change my background to green at 5-minute mark, amber to 6, and red at 7. Similarly, for evaluations, which are 3 minutes each, I will change my background to green, amber, and red at 1, 2, and 3 minutes mark respectively. Each table topic can be up to 2 minutes long. Hence, my background will be green at 1 minute mark, amber at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. Finally, the table topic evaluator can take up to 9 minutes for evaluation speech. So I will go green, amber, and red at 7, 8, and 9 minutes respectively. Thank you.
Thank you, Pragati. I believe there is a Harkmaster tonight, and that is actually going to be myself. So it's going to be a busy, fun meeting for me.
And we swapped.
Did we? Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
You can do it if you want.
No. But to introduce the Harkmaster's role, it's Rupa.
Or it might change back to Simon. Who knows? Those of you paying attention, I was supposed to be Toastmaster of the day, but Simon and I decided to swap our roles about 10 minutes before, just to mix things up. So what is the Harkmaster? It is not a standard Toastmasters meeting role, but it is one that has been adopted by many clubs. And I think Trojans are still going to claim that we were the first to have it in London, possibly the second, but let's go with the first. We come to Toastmasters for public speaking, but we learn a lot more listening. We have one mouth and 2 ears. So the role of the Harkmaster is to test your listening skills towards the end of the evening. I'll be asking a few quiz type questions and we'll see how we do in terms of retaining the information of the speeches this evening. Mr. Toastmaster.
I'm in your mute.
Simon.
Following on from what Flora has said this evening about the humorous speech competition, I will be asking several questions this evening to everybody. And these can be answered either seriously or humorously. But the questions are to enable the club members to find out what makes people laugh, so that those people who are participating can get a better idea as to how to prepare their speech, what to look out for from the audience, and also tricks, techniques, and tips which will help them deliver a better speech. So before we start the formal speeches, I would just like to ask Flora. Flora, is humor a sword or a shield?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I guess most of you know that I'm not an English native speaker. I must admit I'm not sure I understood the first word. So
sword.
Sure.
Sword, as in fighting sword.
Okay. Or a shield.
Shield, yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very, very deep question for for a funny meeting. I think humor can be probably, I would say probably more like a shield, where you just, use humor to just find your way out of a certain conversation, or help you to find a way of dealing with the situation. That's actually how I think how humor help is actually, let's not just be too serious. Let's just see the funny part on this. Sorry, not sure I'm doing very well on this one.
It's quite all right. Flora, any contribution will help the competitors hopefully do some good speeches.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Right, shall we kick off with the formal speeches? Yes, let's do so. Tonight, the first speech will be given by Tanuj, and to introduce his speech, his evaluator for the evening is Cam. So Cam, would you come to the stage and tell us what Tanuj's speech is about and what you're looking for?
Okay, thank you. So Tanuj is completing visionary communication, that pathway number 2. It's called Understanding Your Leadership Style. So he will either speak about aspect of a particular aspect of a certain chosen leadership style, or a style that he prefers, or he will discuss about leadership, a leadership style in general. He will have between 5 to 7 minutes. He's asked for me to look out for certain things, but I will draw on those when I give my evaluation. So good luck to Tanuj.
Thank you, Cam. So Tanuj Saluja will be talking this evening on understanding your speaking style. Understanding your speaking style, Tanuj Saluja.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Who here has worked in a team? Please raise your hand. Okay, apologies. I'm going to quickly set myself on the gallery view to ensure that I can see everyone. If your answer is yes, this one is for you. Based on the latest trends, as you know, we no longer live in caves, hunt food in wild beasts, or wear a hide for our clothing. We have all evolved into complex human beings who lead very complex lives. The sophisticated tools and processes that we undertake every day makes us far more complex beings than what we could have imagined, not just 10 years ago, but 5 years back as well. And to make the things even more complicated, we come together in teams to produce things, to create things, and the range of our productivity can spread from being wondrous to disastrous. But why am I talking about teams? When I started my career, the first lesson I learned on the first day of my first internship was always start with a hypothesis. Find out what the hypothesis is that you're going to prove and then work towards it. So today, my hypothesis, and if I could quickly share my screen, is, sorry, where am I? Sorry, I lost my screen share rights. 1 second, and I should be back now. Okay. I hope you're all able to see my screen. The hypothesis that I want to work out today with you all is post hoc ergo propter hoc, which means one event happened after another, therefore it happened because of the first event. And the hypothesis I'm trying to prove is, what is it that makes teams click? Is it the leadership? Or is it the leadership that makes the teams click? To prove that, as you know, you can't build a house with just one tool. So hammer can't be just one tool that you use to fix a house or to build a house. You have to use many tools you should have many tools in your set to do whatever you need to do. In a similar way, a leader has to choose many different tools to ensure that they are leading the teams and delivering whatever is needed for the hour. And just to be clear, when I talk about leadership, I am not talking about the managerial responsibilities here. I'm talking about the leadership that we can imbibe in ourselves to bring out the best version of ourselves for the team, for the betterment of the team. So I invite you to answer this question. What are the areas in life that you act as a leader? And given a setting, what are the kind of leaderships that you apply? When I looked up to Toastmaster to understand that question better, these were the different leadership styles that came in front of me. You could be any of these leadership styles. I'm sure that this is not an exhaustive list, but if you were to do the survey that is recommended by Toastmasters, you would land up with a score that would be spread amongst these different leadership techniques. And when I did the same, the score was maximum for a leadership style which is democratic. And I relate with it the most because in my career, in my lifetime, every time I've been given the opportunity to be responsible for a team, I've always looked up to following these principles that were actually called out. So it was quite comforting to see that Toastmasters also thinks the same of me. So what is a democratic leadership style? The first thing about democratic leadership style is that they rely on driving a consensus. Every time there is a big decision to be made, this kind of leader would bring together different viewpoints and try to draw a consensus that would meet everybody equally and ensure that everyone's representation is taken care of. They motivate by providing opportunity for participation. I try to my best, to the best of my capability, I try to ensure that everybody in my team, be it at my work or outside, whoever is part of the team, I request them to come forward and ensure that whatever capability they feel most comfortable with, they come forward and actually contribute with it. And lastly, and probably most importantly in current times, they believe in the collaboration and communication techniques a lot. And I can't stress this enough, especially in the current times when we live remotely from each other, we work remotely from each other. Communication and collaboration becomes one of the cornerstones of making a team productive. So I ask you, what is your leadership style? Think about what are the things that you do today. How can you improve yourself in becoming a better leader in that space? And with that, I take you back to the quote I started with, which is, and if I take the screen share back, post hoc ergo propter hoc. Is it the leaders that drive good teams? Or is it the teams that drive good leaders? I still don't have the answer. And I believe it's for a good reason, because everybody amongst us is a leader in some way, capacity or the other. And everybody amongst us can be a good team player as well. So it's just upon us to ensure that we bring our best to whatever we are contributing to. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Tanuj. And before it was actually quite remiss of me, I forgot to tell people how they could comment on the speaker's speeches. There are two ways. For club members, it's obviously through Pathways, which gives a more permanent record of your comments. For guests and visitors, if you use the group chat and address your comments to Tanuj, they'd be gratefully received. And also, before I give 1 minute on the clock, I'd just like to ask Tanuj, what makes a humorous speech?
That's a very interesting question, Mr. Toastmaster. I think the makings of a humorous speech are the same of any speech. You should be talking to your audience and ensure that if you are trying to make a joke, it should be something that everyone can relate with. There is no point there's nothing worse than landing a joke that doesn't click with others. So read your audience and ensure your joke is, or whatever humorous you're going to say, is something relatable.
Thank you, Tanush. Can I now ask the timekeeper for 1 minute on the clock for the audience to send their feedback back to Tanush?
Yep. 1 minute. Starting now.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Satya. The second speaker tonight is Irina Ursula. And to evaluate Irina, it's Flora Ruffin. So Flora, could you come to the stage and tell us what Irina's speech is about and what you're hoping to gain from it?
Yes, so Irina is doing the Pathway motivational strategy. So this is all about helping to build some strategy for a connection with other people, understanding motivation. She's in the first level, which is kind of the level that is the same across Pathway. In that level, she has a second level. This is where she's already done the speech a few meetings ago, and then she's redoing the same speech with incorporating the feedback that she received from the previous time. So she's just looking, to hear how the change is made has improved the speech.
Thank you, Flora. So Irina, on motivational strategies, evaluation and feedback. Motivational strategies, evaluation and feedback. Irina Ursula.
Please raise your hand if you are an employee. Not too many of you. You're getting my job difficult, but it's okay, we can adapt. If you are an employee, or maybe you are in a business and you have your own business, why not? How many times did you want to get that funding if you are in a business? Or how many times did you want to get a pay rise if you are an employee? Raise your hand. And how many of you managed to do that from the first time? Okay, we're getting there. Thank you for helping me. My job is now easier. Ladies and gentlemen, in this evening, I want to share you a couple of my mistakes that I've done in order to get my pay rise increased. And I'm only talking about my experience and what I've learned from my mistakes. To start with, I'll give you a bit of introduction. Why did I choose to talk about it? In the last year or in the last 2 years, I've tried 3 times to get a pay rise. And I only got that in the third time I've asked it. And I've realized I've made a couple of mistakes in the first instance. That's why I couldn't get it right in the first time. So I just want to share you my experience and decide for yourself if this is helpful for yourself in your situation, either you are an employee or either you are in a business and you want to get the right funding from the right investors, why not? To start with, I identified 3 steps that needs to be taken in an order to allow you to get that outcome that you want. And the first step I want to share is do your research. And what I mean by that is look on the market and identify what other companies offer for the similar job. Or if you are in a business, look around and see how investors invest in and in what industry they are invested, how much they're invested, and what is the risk for their investment at that point of time. So do that research, because let's say in my situation, I am an employee, and in my job at the minute, you only can get at certain point high up in your salary, which I already achieved that level. And even if looking on the market, I couldn't go even higher unless I had to grow up one step further. Now, the second research you have to do is have a look around at your company situation. See if this is the right time to do it. Because the mistake that I've done on my first asking, when I asked this question, was that I've asked that in the wrong timing. It was exactly 2019 when we just entered into lockdown, and it was a lot of uncertainty within the companies. The financial number doesn't make up. So I was asking the question at the wrong timing. The other research is, what can you compromise if the company tell you that we can't afford you to increase your pay rise? Is it something else that you might want from them? For example, maybe you want to go in a training, or maybe you want to go to study something that you can't afford and the company can pay you for that. Or maybe they can pay for your travel expenses, or maybe for your rent. Who knows? They might have some certain schemes that can help you out. So first step, do your research. Now we're moving to the second step, which is create some memorable information, something that people around you can relate to, people can remember, because every time when you look around, people look at you and remember for something that you've done, okay? So one thing you want to focus is performance. And in order to measure that, you have to share that, okay? Because not many people will notice what you're doing unless you share that information with the relevant people. Performance. Second one, initiative, yeah? Everything that you do and the company is interested in, show your initiative. And one thing that I've done was, because our construction company, they're very focused on the scoring and how the neighborhood is perceiving us. So they quite put a big focus on that. So what I've done is to make sure that on the scoring that we scored, to get the highest one possible. So I've managed to achieve that, and everyone in the company was talking about it, because I managed to do that from the first visit that we have the assessment. So nobody before me had done this. So I managed to create something that people can remember me for it and talk about it. Good. Now moving to the third step. And the first step is actually schedule a meeting. Yeah, don't be afraid. You've done your research, you know all the steps, you have your questions answered. You created some information, some memorable information that people can remember you for. You show that initiative. People know your performance. Now it's time to schedule a meeting. And don't be afraid to take the steps. Talk to the relevant people and schedule that meeting. And the key point in here is, don't ask the meeting for pay rise. Ask a meeting for your evaluation, for your performance within the company, yeah? For your assessment within the company, because people are more likely to give you that opportunity. And then, while you're talking about everything that you've done for the company and help about the company, you can raise the question about your salary. To recap everything that I've just said, And as mentioned before, this is only my experience. So in different cases might be different things. For me, what worked very well was to do my research properly, to create some information that everyone and performance that everyone could remember. And the third one is to take the actual step. And even if I felt 2 times in a row, I still had the courage to ask it in the third time, when I made sure that everything that I've mentioned before was at the right time. Thank you.
Irina, whilst you're still standing, my question to you about humor is this. What kind of humor is better? And you can also give me the reasons why. Visual humor or spoken humor?
Visual or spoken?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it depends how you look at it, I guess. I'm assuming, and depends what you're referring to. So from a visual point of view, what the first thing that comes in mind is how the person actually presents the things, how you visualize it. It could be, if we're talking about the presentation, if he's showing images and funny moments, but also looking at his actually body language. This is a visual signal for us. That's the first thing you're looking at. And for me, I would say verbal is the first one, because it's the first thing that you kind of hear it, but it's also important to look at the visual, because this is how to express this. People say something about them by using their body language, by using some visual aids that we can understand better the message. So even if I prefer the verbal one, I can't go without missing the visual ones. For me, they kind of go together, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Irina. Pragati, can we have 1 minute on the clock for feedback for Irina, please?
Yes. The minute is up.
Thank you, Pragati. Our third speaker this evening is Nishta Chu. And to evaluate Nishta is Dil Limbu. So Dil, can you come to the stage and tell us what Nishta's speech is about and what we are hoping to gain from it?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. This evening I am evaluating Nishta's speech, and this is her presentation mastery level 2 speech 2, where she will be giving us a speech about understanding her communication style. And the purpose of this speech is to learn about different communication styles and identify her primary style, and to share with us some of her impact that has come due to this style. She has particularly asked me to look at her speed of delivery, and she will be giving us a 5 to 7 minutes of speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Dil. Nishta Chu. the juice. The juice, Nishta Chu.
Raise your hand if you'd like to play a game tonight. Great. It's a game called Tell Nish Who She Is. Now, to give you a little bit of context about this game, I sat down this week to look at my speech assignment. And my speech assignment was to discover my communication style and give a speech about it. In Toastmasters universe, there are 4 styles of communication: supportive, analytical, initiating, and direct. Well, which style am I? To help me find out, let's play this game. I'm going to tell you 4 versions of the same story, and you have to identify what my communication style is. Are you ready? So grab your pens and notebooks and start making some notes. Version number 1. This is 2018. This is Vidyut. He's 3. He's my kid. This is Nish. She's 300 years old. Nish enters the room. There's a tiny puddle of juice on the table. What happened here? The juice is very naughty. What do you mean? I was drinking the juice. I told the juice I don't like you, but I'll keep drinking you. But the juice got angry and it jumped out of the cup just to get me in trouble. I see. The juice is indeed very naughty, but it's all right. Maybe I can put him in the naughty corner. Why don't you go into your room while I clean up? This is supportive style of communication. Supportive communicators are supportive. They're calm, they're patient, and they don't like any tension in the room. Version number 2. Nish enters the room. There's a tiny puddle of juice on the table. This juice is an abomination, mother. What do you mean? This juice, as you directed, I was consuming it, even though I detest it, but I thought I'm gonna keep consuming it. And the juice said, it is preposterous. I take offense. I see. And then in an act of retribution, it jumped out of the cup to get me in trouble. You see, mother? I see. Going by the diameter of the juice puddle, I can see that you have wasted 3/4 of the juice. Your eyes look droopy, your shoulders are slouching. I think you're very tired, and it is safe to conclude that this accident was a result of fatigue and overstimulation. Why don't you go into your room and clean up while I call Tropicana Company and tell them how revolting their juice is and it's causing children to have accidents? Now, this is an analytical style of communication. You're logical, you're exact, you're precise, and you like to rely on data and evidence to make up your mind. Version number 3. Nish enters the room. There's a tiny puddle of juice on the table. Mama, juice, naughty, jump out of the cup. Oh, hey baby, let me tell you a story. One time when I was 3, I found a huge container of flour. And you know what happened? The water from my cup jumped in, and then some more water jumped in. And then before you know, I had climbed into that drum, and I thought, okay, I'm going to help my mom and make dough. And then more water jumped in. What happened then, Mama? And then my mom came over and she said, you know what? It's part of growing up. It's okay. Why don't you go into your room and wash up while I throw away this 15 kilograms of gooey mess? Now, this is initiating style of communication. This is initiating style of communicators are fun-loving. They love to tell stories. They're energetic and they're gregarious. Version number 4. Nish enters the room. There's juice on the table. Nish looks at Vidyut. Vidyut looks at Nish. Nish gives Vidyut a death stare. Vidyut keeps quiet. Both you and the Jews are getting a timeout. But before that, you're going to clean this mess, young man. And after that, you're going to brush your teeth and go to bed. This is direct style of communication. Direct communicators are direct, they are demanding, and they are straight to the point. They get the job done. Now, based on these 4 versions, which communication style do you think I have? You can shout it out and unmute yourself. Analytical, I hear. Another person says it depends. Anyone else? Number 3, initiative. Okay. All of you are wrong. And all of you are right. Because I am all 4 of them. It depends on time, not my style. And I suspect so are you. You are all of them at once. So if the Jews had spilled at 8 o'clock in the morning, I would be supportive. If it had spilled at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I would be initiating. At 4 o'clock, I would be analytical. But if it is 8 o'clock, bedtime, damn right, I'm going to be direct with an ample dose of death stares. So it doesn't matter what style I have. What matters is whether I get my message across, which means whether we are on the same page, whether we, in this case, whether we have the same color. So I am all of these. This is what I've discovered from this exercise. But what kind of style of communication do you have, Madam Toastmaster?
Thank you, Nish. And again, before you leave the stage, my question to you is this. What place does vulgarity have in a humorous speech?
Vulgarity or praise?
Vulgarity.
Vulgarity or praise?
No praise.
No, I'm just
vulgarity.
asking the question. Vulgarity or praise or appreciation? Humor is like a lightsaber. You enter the room, you have a lightsaber, everyone will take notice. It is sharp, it is illuminating, and I bet people will not forget that you came with that weapon. So humor, whether it's vulgar, whether it's beautiful, humor is a lightsaber. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you. Pragati, could we have 1 minute on the clock, please, for feedback to Nish?
Yes.
Thank you.
Minute is up.
Thank you, Pragati. Now, before we have the evaluations, Pragati, could you give us the times for the 3 speeches, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Tanuja's speech was 7 minutes 2 seconds. Irina's speech was 7 minutes 34 seconds, and Nishta's was 6 minutes 50 seconds.
Thank you, Pragati. Right, now it's time for the evaluators to do their dirty task. So may I ask Tanuja's evaluator, Cam, to provide feedback on Tanuja's speech?
Simon, before that, I think we need the polls
Oh, yes. Tanush, have you got the polls? This is the poll for the best speaker.
Two more people to go. 10 seconds. Okay. Closed.
Thank you, Rupa. Sorry, Cam, could I now ask you to provide feedback for Tanush's speech, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Postmaster. So I would like to start off with some general points. I felt like Tanuj met the objective of his speech this evening. He spoke about leadership and he spoke about his preferred style, so a tick there. And prior to this meeting, I had spoken with Tanuj and he asked me to focus on 3 key areas. Number 1, structure. Number 2, pace. And number 3, enunciation. So I'll start off with structure. I felt Tanuj's speech this evening had a very flowing structure. He drew everyone in with a question, which is a great way to get us engaged. And he gave us an intro and he talked about how we are complex beings. We're not just simple beings. But his structure was based around questions. So what makes teams click? What areas do you act as a leader? And what is your leadership style? So his speech flowed around those 3 questions, which was great in terms of audience engagement. But that brings me on to my first point of recommendation, which is I felt that the speech would have been more memorable if he had listed out right from the beginning, I'm going to talk about A, B, and C. And if he had repeated that again in the conclusion, that would have embedded those points in our brains. So that is my first recommendation. But saying that, I felt Tanuj delivered at a good pace. He wasn't rushing, he was confident, there was authority in his voice, and his pronunciation, the words he used were very clear. And if he did use words that weren't familiar to us, he put them on a slide. And as a visual person, I really appreciated that because the slides were clear, they were simple and to the point, and that's what you want with slides. So I thought he did that really well. And he used analogies. So he was able to sort of talk about the tools and then put up a picture about the tools. So I felt that added to the interest, and he also used a personal example about his internship. What would take this speech from being good to being great? I would say simplify the speech, because Tanuj touched on so many different points. I'm now looking back at the speech, I'm thinking, what do I remember? So I remember he spoke about general leadership styles, he spoke about his leadership style, but I would say to make the speech great, hone into one and give us more substance. Use personal examples, dig deeper, and that will also make it more memorable. So that would be my recommendation there. But saying that, I felt like it was a well-prepared speech. We had good visual aids, engaging questions, and I'm leaving Tanuj with some food for thought for his next speech. So well done, Tanuj.
Thank you, Cam. And again, whilst I've got your attention, what subjects should never be mined for a humorous speech?
It should never be used for a humorous speech. It's funny you asked me that, Simon, because I feel like you've used everything. Toilet, going to, looking at your poo. I think you did I think you've crossed so many boundaries. So it shows that it's not about what you shouldn't use. It's about being comfortable speaking about the subject, but also being mindful of your audience. And I think we know what your sense of humor is like, so we all take it on the chin. So yeah, I don't think, people always say you should never talk about politics or religion. But if you look at a lot of comedians, they talk about both politics and religion. So it's just depending on how you approach the subjects. I think you can really talk about anything, because that is the purpose of comedy, to approach subjects which are so sensitive, but you're able to put a spin on them and bring the humanness to them, but do it in a way that makes us think, because comedy does make us think. So yeah, I feel like I've just written a thesis, but yeah, that's the answer to that question.
Thank you, Cam. For our second evaluator, who was evaluating Irina's speech, could I call Flora to the stage and provide her comments?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So what a compelling speech Irina gave us in the second iteration. So thank you, Irina. I think you met the objective of improving your speeches from the previous one. So, and that's actually was a very good topic in terms of giving us tips and reminding us how we can get a pay rise or a promotion. So I'll start with my commendation, and then I have a few recommendations to continue improving, and then I'll have a small conclusion. So in terms of my commendation, what I thought worked well is, first of all, the topic. So very relevant to the audience. We all felt like interested when she asked the first question. And she had as well a lot of personal story and explaining, she's done actually what she is asking us to do. So I think that make it very relevant to us, and actually has more power in terms of what she's explaining it to us. So it was a very engaging speech in terms of the gesture was, where supporting a point, a lot of vocal variety in terms of really emphasizing the key points. So you make it easy to follow, and also to just stay with the speech. I like as well, the way she start the speeches with the question, and then actually when she didn't get what she was expecting from the audience, she could actually straight away, slightly tweak her speech. So that was great. The other strongest part of the speech as well was the structure and the delivery. So a lot of structure, a good introduction, a good conclusion, and in the middle, three key points that she keep re-emphasizes. So we were used to that during the speech. I think where she could continue to improve for the next time is maybe just drawing a bit more into the emotional aspect of a story. So for example, she asked 3 times for a pay rise or a promotion. So it's quite a big thing to do actually. And she must have felt a bit hard to be said no twice and then continuing, to ask for it. So I think that could be this kind of personal story that could actually even more attract the audience, and giving a bit more detail will help us, all of us, to remember what this feel, and if we really want that, just to follow, to continue and remember what she's done. And I think again on that sense, a bit more sense of humor. If she has had the refusal twice, again, you could play with it, and there's a lot of content where you could make it even more memorable for the audience. But overall, it was a great speech. I've enjoyed it, and like I say, very relevant topic, a very good structure, a very strong delivery, and very engaging. So thank you very much, Irina.
Thank you, Flora. And now may I call upon our third evaluator, Dil, who is evaluating Nisha's speech. Dil?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, what a wonderful speech that Nish has given us. Yet again, she has managed to make me laugh and enjoy her speech as always. Now I'm gonna mention some of the things that I really liked about her speech. Her speech was very interactive right from the beginning. She asked us a question: who wants to play a game? And we all participated. We participated and we engaged in her speech. We gave her all the attention. And at first I was wondering, the juice, what kind of topic is she going to talk about regarding communication? And then when she brought out her props and when she did all the little gestures, hand gestures, and little role play with her props, then it made sense that she was talking about the juice to send out a message of different communication style, which I really loved her props. And she was very energetic as well. I could feel her energy when she was speaking and doing all those hand gestures and props. I could feel her energy just going through the screen. And I really loved her body language as well when she did the jumping and the little voice acting. She had very good use of vocal variety as well when she was playing the mom and the kid, showing us different ways of dealing with that juice situation. And she told me to look at her speed of delivery, and I would say she did really, really well. She had pauses which allowed us to soak in what she was talking about. In that aspect, she did very well in her delivery. She also concluded really well by asking us the question right back at the audience. I wouldn't say I have a lot to recommend on for her speech, because it was, for me, it was very flawless. The only thing that I could point out was to maybe adjust her camera angle a little bit, and I would like to challenge her next time. I want to see Nishta doing a little dance or even more extravagant gestures and vocal variety in her next speech. Otherwise, overall, she did very, very well in her delivery, pace, and energy that she used, and very constructive speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Dil. Now, before we conclude the formal part of the meeting, I'd just like to welcome our two guests to the meeting, and if they could come to the stage and tell us what brought them here and what they hope to achieve from Toastmasters. So first of all, may I invite Gurpreet?
Hi, good evening all. My name is Gurpreet Chima. I have found out about Toastmasters a couple of years ago, and I've been looking to join a club for ever since. Obviously, due to the pandemic, things have slowed down in the world, and there were certain clubs which I didn't realize were operating online. So as soon as I found out, I want to join, at least come to a meeting and experience it. For the first time. I'm a consultant. I struggle with the confidence, which has an impact on my communication skills. And I have to think on my feet a lot of the times with my work. And I'm in a position where I'm dealing with a lot of C-level people. So sometimes having to think on my feet and speak up, makes me quite nervous, and that has an impact on my vocabulary, with the speed that I speak at, and having a hard time just articulating and expressing my thoughts in a clear manner. And with what I've read about Toastmasters, I sort of think that this is the place where I'll be able to practice on some of these weaknesses and become a bit of a better version of myself. I think I mean, it's a combination of things. I'm maybe a perfectionist, and that's why I'm trying to find the right ways, and that's where my issue is. I'm not from England. I was not born here. I was born in India, and I've been living here since I was 17. So yeah, I mean, it's a second language, but I've been learning it all my life. But yet, you know, there are these things which sort of like hold me back, and that's the reason why I want to come to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Gurpreet. And before you go, being an objective observer, I'd like to ask you questions about humorous speeches. And my question to you is, in a humorous speech, when should you aim to make the audience laugh for the first time?
I don't think there's any specific time that you should be looking for. You know, you can, you know, start off with by cracking a joke, or in the middle of the conversation. If you know, especially when you're having a serious conversation, you can certainly, you know, to lighten the mood up a little bit. You know, bring a joke out, and you know, again towards the end as well. So it's not there's, in my opinion, there's no specific time. I think any time is good. You know, humor is always welcome, in my opinion, anyway. In my, you know, so if I hear someone cracking a joke, doesn't matter what time it is. If it makes me laugh, I'll laugh. You know, so yeah, for me, there is no you know, time as such that you have to think of when to crack a joke.
Thanks, Gurpreet. And finally, Diane, what brings you here this evening? I may already know, of course, but in your own words.
Ruth asked me to be GE.
And what do you hope to achieve from the meeting?
Well, meeting you lot, because it's the first time I've been to a Trojans meeting. And people like Adrian Lane, who used to be a member of Trojans till he joined Chiltern, would say what a great club he was. So I'm here to find out if he's right or not.
Thank you. And let me ask you a question also about humorous speeches. What makes a good humorist?
Someone who can make people laugh without offending. Someone who has a razor sharp wit, but is clever enough not to offend people.
Thank you. Good answer. Right, I shall now bring a close to the first half of this meeting. It's now 20:37 by my clock. If we come back at 20:47 to do table topics, which I think will be fairly short this evening, so we could finish school before 9:30, hopefully. So
Simon, could I just ask everyone one
yes.
question before we all go on a break?
Yes.
We actually, the person that was going to evaluate the table topic couldn't make it to the meeting. So I'm looking for someone that would want to perform that role, evaluating the table topic in the second part. So is anyone? Diane, oh, brilliant, thanks.
Thank you, Flora. It saved me press ganging somebody. Right, so feel free to stay online. If not, we will see each other at 20:47. See you later. Oh, and by the way, if you want to do table topics, you need to speak with Satya. So volunteer or be press ganged.
I have a question for the committee. Is anyone still here? I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
What's happening with our recording meetings?
Oh yeah, you've noted that they have not been shown on online, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have seen actually this is weekend. I haven't had a chance to check with Tanuj, but I just suspect it's just because of timing. So I'll ask him if he can put them online. I think they are recorded, but it takes time to just put to put them on YouTube.
Yeah. 'Cause I was just looking for my speech today. It would be helpful to see it again, but I couldn't find it. And I was thinking, if you need help with that, I can maybe help to upload them if that makes your job maybe easier.
I suspect that would really help. Yeah. Thank
So
you.
I didn't know who is actually dealing with that. So I thought I just asked the question because I've asked so many different people and I couldn't get it the right answer.
Okay, yeah, I suspect it's Tanuj, but I suspect he hasn't been able to do it for a few times. So I'll get in touch and I'll suggest that you can help him.
Thank you, Flora.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Some good answers. How are you, Dill? Dill, you're on mute.
You're on mute if you're talking to us.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Simon. I was saying that. Are you good?
Yeah. I was surprised you were going to have a meeting on Monday, being
Oh,
bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, we haven't decided whether to have it or not. They are still voting on it, but this one we already created an agenda and they want to go with it.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So you may be forced.
Yeah,
I mean, if the weather's good, I'm sure people will be away.
definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully I think it should be okay with a couple of members attending. Not too bad.
Yeah. Well, at least you don't have Notting Hill to contend with.
Notting Hill.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people would want to be there.
Oh, there's a carnival or something?
Well, it was until obviously COVID hit.
Oh, okay.
You've not been to Notting
Is it
Hill?
that time of the year? They have
Yeah.
carnivals at this time.
Yeah. Well, Notting Hill's a famous carnival.
Oh, okay. In October-ish. No, September.
No. October. August Bank Holiday weekend is the traditional time for Notting Hill Carnival.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Big, colourful.
Yeah, I've seen photos only.
Yeah. Been there many years ago.
I only heard bad things about this carnival, Simon.
It's
people being killed, people being attacked, people being.
Well, yeah, it has a notoriety for problems, drugs and drink and stabbings. But hey, that's London life these days.
True.
Yeah, it's one of these questions I've thought about for table topics, was to ask somebody to name 3 objects that they could hold in their hand. So just think of 3 objects yourself. Then the next part of the question is, how would you describe London to a foreigner using those 3 objects?
Ooh.
You know,
Okay.
maybe so coffee, knife, and an avocado. But you know, it just
that's an interesting way of dealing with table topics.
I think
I'm pretty
for
sure they'll
London-
find out a way.
For London, it will be very easy, but if you're asking maybe about other country, it will be much difficult.
Yes. But it's good because people think, I'm going to choose 3 objects which I'm familiar with, but without knowing the context with which you're going to apply them. I think that makes it more interesting. Otherwise you might just say paper, scissors, stone. But no, I think it's quite good. I mean, feel free to use that if you wanted to.
I can only think of one, an umbrella.
That's actually a good one. Yeah, but also it makes you think about what do people actually think about London? People who've lived there all their lives, or people who've just come to visit, and what they associate it with. You know, it could be
Simon
tube
has a
station.
knife, so we should be worried.
Yeah, or rioting. That would be good. Let the riots come to Wheeling again.
Yeah. Oh, with the pandemic, we haven't had, I mean, yeah, we've had those demonstrations. But actually, the climate change guys were out, weren't they, the other day?
What? They weren't in Ealing, were they?
No, no. In
Oh, no,
London.
they're in central London, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, my partner keeps on threatening to go there and join them. But I think it's the allure of the pink table.
It's the lure of the pink table.
Yes, they had a very, very large pink table, probably about, 10 feet tall and maybe about 18 feet wide.
Well, with like stuff on the table, like drinks.
Well, I think people are on top of the table. just walking on top of the table, just to make it harder for the police to move them on.
Oh, okay.
Because how do you deal with that? How do you get them off? Call the fire brigade and hose them off. Saw off the table legs. Put castor oil on the tabletop. I don't know. I don't know. It makes it fun to think about how you deal with it. Yeah. So we should be ready to start part 2 and table topics. So hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 2, the more relaxed stroke stressful part of the evening, where our table topics master, Satya, is going to explain to you what table topics is about and pick the unwilling victim. So over to you, Satya.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening, everyone. Well, often we find ourselves in those situations when we are put on the spot. We need to think of something quickly, but then we freeze. Nothing comes to our mind. We are like, oh, I'm not creative. I can't think of anything. That's when we realize that thinking on our feet is very important. And participating in table topic session would give you that opportunity to practice impromptu speaking, effectively helping you to think on your feet. Today, as your table topic master, I will be asking you questions. The time given for each topic is 1 to 2 minutes. Both members and the guests can participate in it. You can message me if you are willing or not willing to participate. Well, let's get it started. Our first question is, what kind of technology do you think would be invented next? What kind of technology do you think would be invented next? And this question is to Cam.
Thank you, Satya. Okay, that is a really difficult question. I feel like that would have been better answered by someone like Tanuj, who is really into IT and has an app for everything. So he would have probably loved this question. Or maybe Nishta, because Nishta, as a journalist, is always looking to evolve and is always researching new and upcoming things. What technology will come next? Well, that's the thing. We don't know, because that is sort of the excitement of technology. It's constantly evolving. And actually, I watched The Matrix. How many of you watched The Matrix, the film with Keanu Reeves? And it's about sort of man versus machine and how machines are taking over the world. And I would say we've got to be very careful, because machines have helped us in the pandemic, but also they are kind of overtaking our lives. Like, without my phone, I would be lost. It's my planner. I put everything, I diarize everything in my planner. I look up my phone, I would say at least 4 or 5 times in the hour. I am actually addicted to my phone. So maybe the question isn't how is technology going to evolve? It's more like, how are humans going to evolve because of technology? Like, my machine is actually controlling me. Are we going to have technology anonymous? You know how people have AA? Will we need help in the future? So I can't predict what's going to happen, but I can see that the change is happening in me, and I'm sure you can all see that the change is happening in you. I suppose that's where I'll bring Neo from the late Matrix, and he says, what makes us different from machines is that we have a choice. We as humans have a choice, and machines don't. So that's my answer to that question. Thank you, Satya.
That was great, Cam. Thank you so much. Well, our next question is, if you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that be? If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that be? And this question is to Rupa.
I'm kind of glad I got that quick question, but then at the same time I'm not, because like there's just so much food to choose from. So I initially thought cheese, then I thought, no, what if one day I turn into one of those weird vegans? Sorry if any of you here are a vegan. I did go for a very nice vegan meal the other day, so it's possible. Like people go through this weird phase, right, of moving from maybe being a massive carnivore and then starting to cut out some stuff. I don't actually see that. Oh no, Cam, that's right. I'm sorry. Yes, you're one of those people, and I've been for 2 meals with her, like in the last few months. But it worked out. It worked out fine. If I really had to pick one, I would probably say avocado. But then, right? But it had like Flora's making a weird face at me, right? I'd say, but avocado of the squash kind, so guacamole type avocado, but. Then I have that weird sort of voice on one of my shoulders saying, hang on a minute, no, but do you really know what goes into avocado farming? And so I don't want to be one of those millennials, because I'm not. I'm a little bit too old to be a millennial, and I don't want to be typecast in that. So the shorter answer, that was a very long way of saying, you can't just pick one. That's just ridiculous, right? I will say, though, this last year I have learnt to reap the benefits of my mother's garden, and we've got really good at growing our own stuff. So basically, eat fresh, don't turn vegan, and I can't pick one. Madam Table Topics Master.
That was great, Rupa. Yeah, thank you. Next question is, what's the favorite thing you own and why? What's the favorite thing you own and why? And this question is to Dil. You are on mute, Dil.
Oh, thank you, Madam Topic Master, for that question. What's the thing that I own? Wait, what's the thing that I
Favorite
own?
thing you own
What's the favorite thing that I own?
and why? Why is it your favorite?
And why is it my favorite? Oh, okay. That's a difficult question. Because there are a lot of things that are in my favorite list. But if I really have to choose one, I would say it's my pencil. The reason why the pencil is my favorite thing is because I can do a lot of things with it, and it's one of the basic tools that you can use to do tremendous creative stuff. You can write, you can draw, you cannot paint with it, but you can still do a lot of things. You can create a whole world out of it. You can sketch. It's a very, very easy and very quick way to get your ideas with this little thing on a paper. And yeah, that is the reason why the pencil is one of my favorite things. Thank you.
Thank you, Dil. Our next question is, what is your favorite time of year and why? What is your favorite time of year and why? And this question is to Gurpreet.
I was not expecting that. Sorry, I thought these questions were just for the members. Yeah, thank you for the question, first of all. What's my favorite time of the year? Favorite time of the year for me is Christmas. Christmas is a time of celebration when families come together. It's a time where you get, some time off. People are more relaxed at work. No one seems on edge. People are in a happy mood. They want to socialize. Obviously, apart from the last year, so hopefully this year is going to be slightly better. They want to socialize. They want to meet up. You've got the next year to look forward to. You can reflect back on the year, on the last 12 months. You've got appraisals coming up if you're an employee, and you've got goals coming up if you're working on personal ambition, personal things that you want to change in your life. And it just gives you that time to think about all of those things, you see. So for me, it's definitely Christmas, the time off, the celebration, the people coming together, the families coming together, and just the mood in general is my favorite time of the year.
Thank you, Gurpreet. Well, our next question is, what talent do you wish you had and why? What talent do you wish you had and why? And this question is to Flora.
Thank you, Madam Topic Master. So what challenges do I wish I had? Is that the question?
What talent do you wish?
Talented. Oh, sorry. I was thinking I don't wish to have too many challenges, so I don't have many that I actually wish to have. Which talent? Well, I think that there's a lot of talent I wish I have. But the one that I really like to actually acquire or develop is actually be able to make people laugh, be able to actually come up with those ideas like Nishta in a speech. I'm just thinking, where did she got all of that creativity, and how did she actually deliver it in front of everyone, and just seems so easy. And when I try to do something like that, it wouldn't work. So I think that's kind of the talent that I wish I'll be able to develop or have. I think some of us have it instantly, and they can just be very, very funny or finding way of doing things very, very quickly. Some need, like me, more time and more practice. But that's something that I like to I like that. I like that to see it, and I think that's a lot of positivity. So if you manage to make people love, and if you manage to have that gravity, and it appear like it's just spontaneous, I think that's a great talent to have, and you can achieve quite a lot, and you can just create a lot of things as well for you. So that's kind of my the wish I had in terms of talent. Thank you.
Thank you, Flora. Simon, do we still have time for another question?
One more question, yes.
Yeah. What activity or sport you're afraid to try? What activity or sport you're afraid to try and why? And this question is to Nishta.
Thank you, Satya. I will answer this question, and it will in fact answer all the questions that you asked all the contestants in Table Topics. The activity I want to try and I'm afraid of is the ability to talk to trees. I have always wondered, what would the trees tell you if they could talk? And I'm afraid whatever they tell me is going to break my heart. There's a place called Black Park where I go running, and it has pine trees. Some of them are hundreds of years old. They are beautiful, they're tall, they are magnificent. And every time I run under those trees, I look up and I always wonder, I wish the trees could talk. And if they could talk, what would they tell me? How many humans have they seen walk on these paths? What have they seen in hundreds of years? And at the same time, even though it will fill me with wonder and will tell me some of the most amazing stories, I think it also makes me afraid. And perhaps it will break my heart, because perhaps the trees will tell me that humanity is on the path of self-destruction. And it's possible that humanity and those trees might not survive another, I don't know, 200 years, 400 years. So it's something I would like to try, but at the same time, I'm frightened at the prospect of what they would tell me. Back to Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Nishta. Well, that's it. Thanks everyone for participating. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Satya. And your question regarding humorous speech is as follows. How much should be left unsaid and left to the audience's imagination in a humorous speech?
Oh, well, for humorous speech, I would say it should be, of course, unpredictable. Like even before giving the humorous speech, I think some people may give a hint like it's going to be funny, what I say now. That part should not be done. It should be very spontaneous. It should keep us going, but not too much of thinking, not too much of imagination that goes on to the audience, which will, break that suspense. Like it will stop us from being more imaginative, and we may lose the interest of what is going to be. So I would say keeping it very short and then breaking to the point for cracking the joke. That's it.
Thank you, Satya. Now, before we have Diane's evaluation, Rupert, could you produce the poll for the best table topic speaker, please?
We don't have a ready-made poll for this one, so I'm just going to remind everybody of the speakers and subject, and if you could send in private message to Simon who your favourite table topic speaker was. So first topic speaker was Cam, in terms of what technology will be next. Second speaker was myself, in terms of my only favourite food. Dil, favourite thing she owns. Gurpreet, favourite time of year. Flora, what talent she wishes she had. And favourite activity, Nish. Once again, Cam, Rupert, Dil, Gurpreet, Flora or Nish.
Right, well, we have a clear winner, so thank you, everybody. Right, could I now call upon Diane? Oh, no, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Sorry, I will call upon Diane to give feedback on the table topic participants. Diane.
Thank you, Simon. I thought it was a really interesting range of table topics this evening. What I really did like is the questions were nice and short. They were challenging, but not so challenging as to be impossible to ask. And I've been to many table topic meetings where the table topic master has used the opportunity to almost give a speech between each table topic. So well done, Satya, who was on the Table Topics Masters for this evening. Well done indeed. And I also like the fact that you explained why we do table topics, because again, that often gets missed out and people don't understand why it's done and how it can benefit them. So again, well done. Cam, you have a wonderful technique of stalling. Gosh, you connect your thoughts together. And you started talking about how other people would like to answer this question. And you just talked about these people, some of whom are here and some of whom aren't. But it was just a wonderful way of pulling off and gaining thinking time. And I then like the way that you hit upon the theme of the matrix and you develop that theme, and you talked about how the matrix quotation from the matrix would work into your theme of summary at the end of the table topic. One of the things you might want to do is focus more on how you look down the camera. At times I got the feeling you were kind of thinking like that and looking up or looking down, and therefore you kind of broke a connection with the audience. Rupa, I think you managed to insult about 5 million people on this planet with weird vegans. A difficult subject, a little private in joke here. I'm surprised you didn't say rich teas. But yes, avocados, guacamole, all those sorts of things go in there. And I like the way you said not wanting to be a millennial and aiming that you were admitting that you were slightly too old for it. Well, I'm afraid that bus long passed me by, so I just join the crowd. Just join the crowd. I did think that it took a little time for you to get into your stride. And again, once you found the stride where you talked about growing your own food, I thought it was very good. But the other thing is, you spoke incredibly quickly. And I've been to a lot of meetings with you recently, and I've never heard you speak so quickly. So I don't know what was happening there. Just think about how you can, let's take a breath, breathe out, and then start. Bill, again, you stalled for a long time, and you were obviously looking around and thinking, what can I get? What can I get? And then you kind of hit upon the pen. So, and I thought actually it was fabulous. The way that you then went on to describe all the things that a pencil can give you. You can take you to your own world. You can write with it, you can draw with it, you can create your own world. And you explained how that was very good. Again, what you need to do though is, I did notice lots of ums and ahs, and I also noticed it when you're doing the evaluation. And maybe you need to think about pausing, making a conscious decision to go, and then start the point again. Because otherwise you keep ending up with all these verbal punctuation marks. You begin to sound like Victor Borg when he's doing his skits on the piano, if you're old enough to remember him. Just think about that, because it will help you sound more coherent. Gary, favorite time of the year. What a wonderful explanation. I think you did really well considering it was your first time as doing a table topic. You didn't come across as being nervous at all. You might want to just think about how you can look down the camera a little bit more often, just to help maintain that contact with the people you're speaking to online. Because I'm sure in real life, when you're speaking to people, you look at them and not to their side. So just think about how you can make that. Who was next? Flora. Yeah, Flora, sorry. Being able to make people laugh. I think you need to say what you're saying with more confidence, because I think you can do it. Because you had a nice little story going there. You need a little bit more vocal variety, but you need to just make it, say it with a little bit more conviction. Because you sounded a bit nervous, and earlier on when you were doing the president's bit, you sounded much more confident about the grounds that you were on. And that just comes with more and more practice. And then Nishta, about the activity or sport you'd be afraid to try. And I thought that was brilliant, about talking to trees. I thought that I liked the way that you kind of took the idea and then just ran with it into a completely unusual place that people weren't expecting. again, a little bit more vocal variety would help, because and also again, pauses are great to help you add emphasis, and it's something I'll be coming on to a bit later on as well. And I did like the way that you said that you'd be afraid, and then you summed it up with, if I could, they would tell us what we're doing wrong and how our time is limited on this planet. And I thought, well, that's a really nice doom-laden summary at the end of the speech to get us all really excited and happy as we go home. But I did think it was very good. I thought the summary was fabulous. So well done. Thank you.
Right, before we do a vote on the best evaluator, do we have the times for the evaluators?
Yes. For the prepared speech evaluation, Cam took 3 minutes 20 seconds, Flora took 3 minutes 5 seconds, and Dil took 3 minutes 22 seconds. And for the table topic evaluation, Diane took 6 minutes 42 seconds.
Thank you. Can we now have a vote for the best evaluator?
I am launching it right this second, and as Laurie dropped out last minute, Laurie's name is actually Diane.
Right.
Ten seconds. Two more people that may want to vote. 5 more seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Done. You're on mute, Simon.
I didn't recognize the signal. As we're now approaching the end of the meeting, it's time for me to call upon the Hawk Master to see how carefully we were paying attention. So over to you, Rupa, with a fistful of questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. I think I've got 7 quick-fire questions, and it is, as Simon said, just to test how well you've been listening. Unfortunately, we're not back at St Aidan's Hall, therefore I can't give out sweets, so they're going to have to be virtual ones right now. Let's see how we go. And because it's a small group, I'm not worried about politeness. If you know the answer, just unmute and shout it out. So, question number 1. What has Flora attended this week where she viewed a session on being humorous or funny?
The convention.
Thank you very much, Cam. Right, this week the International Convention for Toastmasters is going on. What came up as Tanuja's primary leadership style?
Democratic.
Thank you, Nish. Well done. What path is Irina doing? Ooh.
Third path, first speech.
What path, though? What's the name of the path?
Motivation.
Motivational strategies. Good effort. How old was Nishta's son in the story?
2.
4.
3.
Got it. Process of elimination. What film did Cam reference in her table topic?
Matrix.
Everyone got that one. What does Nish do in Black Park?
Run and try to talk to trees.
Well, couldn't let you have any, but I was going for run. And what is happening at 10 p.m. tonight, which means we're going to finish at 9:30, so I can have a break.
The convention.
What specifically at the convention?
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Good effort. Well done. Thank you for paying attention, everybody. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rupert Harkmaster. Shall we call upon the general evaluator to give her comments now, or shall we do the awards? I think general evaluator. Yeah. Diane, could I ask you to give your general evaluator's report?
Sorry about that. That was the landline. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay. Let's go back to before the start of the meeting. And I was surprised at how quiet everyone was. And that makes it very difficult if everyone's really quiet to get lots of energy in the room. And I know from what people have said to me that you guys are usually very quiet. So I think it may be the fact that you don't have enough members here tonight, perhaps, and you're a bit thin because of the holiday period. The other thing is you need to make clear where you're holding the meetings, because I had a slight question in my mind. I'm very lucky. I can just phone Rupert up and say, where are you meeting? But a new guest can't. And it doesn't, on your Easy Speak page, it says you're meeting in the church hall. And on your website page, it doesn't say where you're meeting at all. So it might be worth putting it just in the front of the website on the landing page to say where you are meeting this week or at the next meeting, so everyone is really clear about it. You don't have to put a Zoom link in there. You can just say contact us for the Zoom link to avoid getting Zoom bombed. The other thing is the theme for this evening seems to be an improvisation. We've had a last minute swap between Harkmaster and the GE. And people have dropped out and other people have stepped up. And again, that needs just a little bit more refining and buttoning down. People are going to come when they do come. Simon, I did like the start of your bit where you talked about the meeting has 2 halves and 3 parts, basically. But what made it slightly disappointing is you said it might seem a little bit strange and to guess, and there's nothing, it's only strange if you tell people it's strange. If you say to them, this is the structure we use, I think that takes away any preconceptions that it's going to be a weird and wonderful meeting. You might also want to think about something like hats, because one of the things I think is quite strange for a lot of guests is when they see us doing this or clapping and that sort of thing. So you might want to explain that handshake, applause, timing, and slips, or in this case, messages back. And Brigitte, when you explained about the time, you didn't explain, you explained how long everyone had to speak, but you didn't explain why we time everything and the reasons behind timing everything. And when you were talking about the colors, you might think about demoing the colors as well, so everyone can clearly see what the green, the yellow, and the red are, and also add labels to them, because if people are colorblind, you can't always tell the difference between some of those colors. So just think about how you can just put a big word green, yellow, red on the back of your background. The Harkmaster, Rupert, you explained it wrong. The Harkmaster, you explained it was very rare for clubs to do it. I only know of 2 other clubs that do it on a regular basis. Unfortunately, the rest of the explanation got lost in technical issues, and I'm not sure if they're at my end or at yours, so I can't comment any further on that. All 3 of the evaluators, when you were doing your introductions, I noticed that you were very good on saying what the speech was, what the aim of the speech was, but none of you gave the time. And so it levels 1, 2, and 3, most of the speeches are 7 to 9 minutes, so it's not an issue. But if you were introducing a level 4 or level 5 speech, some of those speeches do go on for a longer time, people might start tapping their fingers on the desks if they're not aware that this is a speech going to build more slowly because the speaker has been given more time to put their point across. There was some nice bits to do with how the speeches were actually made and delivered. I thought Tanju was very good in the way distance he stood from the screen, the way you could see both his hands move. It's a real shame that he didn't have the right setup for screen sharing all the time, because that really broke into what would have been a really good speech. And also the fact the speaking order was reversed. Again, was not something I was aware of. And it wasn't updated on the agenda. So it became slightly confusing because I don't know you all. But the speeches on the whole, I thought were very good. As for the evaluations, they were all clear. They all had great structures to them. So, but there was also some common themes that needed just tweaking. When I was doing the table topics, I talked about the value of giving a pause. And just as when you deliver a speech and give a pause, to add emphasis, to build attention, you need to do the same when you're doing the evaluation, because it then gives the person who's being evaluated the opportunity to listen hard. And it's kind of like a signal to say, this is a big point that I've just made or I'm about to make. And therefore, I'm really keen that you follow this point through. The rest of the meeting, though, I thought was very fun. There's lots of good uses of humor, with Simon trying to ask about what makes a good humorous speech and what is humor throughout the rest of the evening. And in a way, it was a kind of theme with the table topics throughout the whole evening. So you not only had the proper table topics, but you had Simon's table topics as well, which I thought was delightful because it challenged people to think in a way that they weren't expecting. And I did think that was a very nice little innovation slipped in there. And one of the things I did like, Nishta, I saw your glove puppets, and this states to me that I started thinking back to Shari Lewis and Lamb Chop. And if you don't know that reference, look it up on YouTube, because it was so funny. And I think it's a speech that could be developed and developed and developed. And it could be a great humorous speech contest to become your humorous speech contest in 3 weeks' time. So just think about how you can develop that story without making it a story about your communication style. I did think that was very good. And on the whole, I did think it was a very good meeting. A bit disorganized because I'm not sure if that's because of the lack of numbers and people dropping out and coming in at the last minute. But considering that, I thought it was very well organized, very well handled. The fact that Ruth managed to take over as Zoom master, and the first Zoom master had to leave part of the way through the meeting, it was all done seamlessly. So I think it's been, all in all, a fantastic meeting, an enjoyable meeting, and I look forward to coming back again whenever Rupert invites me 6 to 9 months, whenever down the road. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diana. Your comments remind me of a quote from Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare, and that is, "The eye sees not itself, but by reflection." So we take both your comments, both good, and critiques, not so good, in equal measure, and we thank you greatly for them. Thank you. Rupert, can I ask you to forward me the list of winners?
Oh, I've sent them to Flora, but I can.
No, that's quite okay. Flora's got them. I'm quite happy to sit back and let Flora enjoy the limelight.
I don't have the best table topic.
I can send that to you, Flora, now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Actually, before we do the award, I just have just wanted to run through a couple of club business that I haven't done in the opening. So the first thing is reminding everyone that renewal for membership are opened. So the membership will expire at the end of September. I don't know, I didn't know that before actually getting all the notification, but actually there's a small incentive if we get some member renewing in August. So please, if you know you want to stay, do your renewal, and that helps us. The other thing is also to remind again about the speech contest that will happen in the autumn. So we'll run our contest at the club level first on the 13th of October. And actually the context for the area will be the following week on the 20th. So if you want to participate as a speaker, do get in touch with the committee. If you want as well to, or if you want to participate as an organizer, we're looking for a contest chair, we're looking for a chief judge, and we're looking for judges. So you don't have to actually participate as a speaker or contestant. You can really help as well organizing this. And another third little point as well, we're looking how we can improve our meeting, and as well how the value that we provide to our member. One thing that we want to do with myself and with Momo as the VPE is actually to understand where you are on your objective and on your pathway. So just expect, we'll contact each of you to better understand actually what every one of you want to achieve, and that will help us as well as we are planning for the meeting. Thank you very much. It was a great evening. I did love a lot of the sense of humor and a lot of feedback. So that was great. In terms now going through the best speaker of the evening. So if we start first with the best evaluator, and as we are a small group, can I ask all of you to just make some noise so I don't have to do it myself? Please unmute yourself, otherwise I can't hear it. The best evaluator is Diane. Well done, Diane. Thank you. And then thank you for your feedback on the table topic and general evaluator. And then the best table topic speaker is, please, can I hear some noise? Is Rupa. So well done, Rupa.
Thank you, everyone.
And the best speaker of the evening in the prepared speech is Nishta. Well done, Nishta.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So yeah, so well done everyone. We all participated. We all spent the time, to come to the evening. So I appreciate to see all of you, and I wish you wonderful end of the evening. Do go to see the convention if you want. Other than that, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, everyone. Great to see you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good.
Thanks for coming, Diane.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you for making us so welcome, guys.
See you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.